I told my guy within the week, if you are still trading by seeing trade setup every five minutes, every 1 hour, then you have not started. The business of trading is a business of opportunity. It's not a business where you see the opportunity every five minutes, every 1 hour. In fact, if you are trading correctly, you may not be seeing more than one opportunity in a day. In a whole week, you may not be seeing more than 2 or 3 opportunities. That is what trading is. But by the time you are trading and you are clicking buy and sell in every five minutes, in every 30 minutes, then you have not started. You need to watch this video to the end to see how we look at structure ultimately and how we prove to you that structure is the king. All right, you will be able to differentiate between impulse and correction, and you see how we do it in the higher time frame, and why you see some setups or some what do you call it, some pairs moving very fast, and it seems as if we are not part of it. All right, there are some structures that we have to see that we consider as high probability for us to trade. And if those structures are not there, then we have nothing to trade. That is how we preserve our capital for the next day. It is not about being busy, it is about being busy in a correct way for you to make money. So welcome to this week edition of NTFX Weekly Forecast. We want to start with DXY. Of course, you know we start with dollar. And you see, I'm going to do detailed analysis for dollar for you this week while we were looking for sell sector. You see this, you see the impulse here, you see the corrective structure, 3 waves to the upside, 1, 2, and 3. Can you see? And you see this drop. So the question right here is that this drop here, which is this is A, this is B, and this is C. This drop here, is it enough, all right, for this move, for this continuation move to the upside? Or we should still have one more drop here to take this liquidity here for us to go. This is the puzzle that we have to fix right now for us to be able to forecast long-term direction of dollar. But as far as I'm concerned, 2 things can happen. All right, and that was the reason why I was telling my guys within the week that I was not going to take action on USD JPY USD card except I see a bigger correction. Okay, it's only a bigger correction that will guarantee me taking set up on them, and they were giving little corrections, which is part of the extended impulse, as you will see when we get there. So right now, if this pair wants to come to take this low, then at this point in time, after this, maybe one more push up here, or let me show you clearly. This one, after one more push up here, from this level, we should have a move to the downside to break this low. It is only after this low is broken that this wave here will be equal to what we have here. And then from here, you can expect a move to the upside. Okay? That is the expectation. But right now, with the way we are seeing things, if it's not going to take that route, then what you will see, let's go to the daily time frame so that you can see it very clearly. What you will see is that if we don't see a move to the downside here, but rather a corrective structure this way for upside, then forget about dollar coming to take this low again. That means that we continue to look for upside from here. And for now, what I really think will happen based on the structure that is presented before us is that this move to the downside here, this move here, has really taken this low. So the requisite liquidity that this move to the downside needed has already been taken. This move to the downside has already taken the liquidity right here. Okay? And because this liquidity is taken right here, I'm already saying that this is now a trend that we are now seeing to the upside. Can you see? This is now a trend to the upside. Once you have extended impulse or 5-wave structure is developed here, then you now wait to see development of what? A bigger corrective structure and a more push to the upside. This is what I'm supporting right now as far as DXY is concerned. I'm waiting to see a bigger corrective structure. And after that bigger corrective structure, then you should have a more push to the upside. That is it for USD JPY. For Euro USD, guys, what we're expecting is simple. I want you to know that we are not just looking for wave structure for the fun of it. We are looking for it to validate it with the presence of liquidity. Okay? If you see, like right here, you have liquidity here. You have this low, you have this low, you have this low. All this low, the liquidity resides in them. And look at euro dollar has come to take the liquidity. So if you look at it very well, you see that this is a structure. This is a three-wave structure. So even if it will continue to push down, after this three-wave structure and liquidity taken under this low, the market will normally give you a bigger corrective structure. Do you understand? It will normally give you a bigger corrective structure. And that is the corrective structure we are expecting now. Okay, we are expecting a bigger corrective structure. Right now, you can no longer sell Euro USD. You can't sell it. Why is it that you can't sell it? You can't sell Euro USD after it has taken liquidity below this level. Okay, because liquidity below this level is expected to push Euro USD to the upside. It's not expected to, begin to cause it to drop to the downside. It doesn't work that way. All right. You are taking a liquidity here. This liquidity should push this market to the upside. Even if it's for a corrective structure before it drop again, it must push it to the upside. That is the push we are ready to buy now. Okay. And for you to buy that push, you must see trend. You must see what? Trend. You can see that it was developing some trend for you here. Okay, some trend for you, but this is not the kind of trend we are looking forward to. We are looking for a big push. This is not how market goes to the upside. We are looking for a big push. So if you have something like this, correct, it means that you have a move here, you have this corrective structure right here, you trade it to the upside. That is what we should be expecting from euro dollar. If don't sell it at this level, you cannot, I'm ringing into your ear again. You cannot sell euro dollar when it has taken daily liquidity for a buy. You don't look for sell opportunity any longer. Is that okay now? So, and another thing is that it can decide to come to take this low again. All right, these are liquidity here. Let it take it. Once it take it, look for trend here. Corrective structure. Get involved with your stop loss anywhere here. All right. So that's it for euro dollar. For pound dollar, guys, same thing is applicable for pound dollar. Can you see right here? You can no longer be looking for a sell opportunity at the current level. Why? The liquidity here is taken. Can you see? The liquidity here is taken. But now, despite the fact that it is taken, you are not seeing buy opportunity because it is not strong enough. So you now have to see how liquidity build up here and cleared. Listen, how liquidity build up here and cleared before you can see a move to the upside. So how does it work? Let me show you. So if you look at it very well, what do you see here? I want to see how liquidity build up for us to have a move to the upside. This is the one I said is not enough. You have three-wave move to the upside, the market drop, okay, take liquidity, but can you see the way it's progressing to the upside? It's not convincing. This is not how market push to the upside, guys. This is not how it pushes to the upside. So all this one you are seeing here, it will break down. Once it breaks down, look at each time it's breaking the low. Look at how the push to the upside develop. If the push to the upside is very, very strong after breaking the low again, that is your originating impulse. So the corrective structure will now be what? Your trade to the upside. Stop loss here. It's as simple as that, guys. So trading is hard when you don't understand how the structures are framed. But trading becomes a bit easier. Okay, it becomes very simple when you see people around you who can hold your hand and show you how structure actually manifest and how structures are interpreted on the chart. You understand? So you don't look for structure in isolation. You look for structure in line with the liquidity that is available. Do you understand? For instance, I'm showing you here that I'm looking for a buy, but I'm not going to look for a buy. I'm not going to consider any impulse as a credible impulse here. What am I saying? Look at it here. I'm not going to consider this impulse as a credible impulse for me to look for a buy to the upside. Why? Because I don't see any serious liquidity it took here. And despite that, I don't see how it broke structure here. Every impulse, for it to be valid, to be considered as a good impulse, must break structure to the upside. If this impulse, as it did not break structure to the upside, is an impulse that is part of corrective structure, that is what it means. Get me clear now. There are two types of impulses, okay? You can have impulse for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, and you have impulse for the ABC move. If the impulse does not break structure, it is not the impulse for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. But if the impulse breaks structure, then it is part of it. Let me give you an example. Right here, you have this impulse. This is an impulse. But this impulse, does it break structure? No. Because of that, it is an impulse for the what? For the ABC correction. That is why you now have A, B, C, boom. That is A, that is B, that is C. So I'm not going to be looking for buy opportunity here by considering this as impulse. That is simple. And then this one has come and it has taken the low. So after it has taken the low, I'm looking for impulse again. Right here, have you seen any impulse? No, you have not seen any impulse. The only one that resemble impulse a little is what? Is this one, impulse. But where is it developing from? Does it take liquidity? No. So I'm not going to regard this as impulse until what? This one comes, break the low again. If you now break this way, break this structure, then corrective structure, upside. Do you understand? So today, I'm just so happy. I want to show you more things, not just to give you the next bias in the market, not just to give you the next direction. I want to show you how to interpret the chart using structure. Now you have advantage of understanding wave analysis. By the time you combine this with analysis with inducement and liquidity, you have a better picture of when the next move will come. And if you want it to be complete, your analysis to be complete, add timing to it. Okay, add timing to it. Look at this pair right here. This is GBP USD. Look at the time here. That's 1300 GMT plus 1, which is about overlap. That's why this moved to the upside form. Okay, and it broke structure. That is an impulse. But are we supposed to take? No, because I didn't see how liquidity is taken before that impulse was formed. Liquidity was not taken. Okay, if you say this one is the one that took liquidity, then why didn't it have volume to flip to the upside? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Is that okay now? So right now, you have to wait, allow euro, pound dollar to take this liquidity, flip up to the upside, break the structure, corrective structure, upside. Okay, that is how you treat GBP USD, guys. For AUD USD, can you see AUD USD? Can you see right here? Okay, after this push to the upside, this is corrective structure, break to the upside. Now, this pair is due for correction. Why? You already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You already have 5 wave structure to the downside. Okay, not many people know that you can also have 5 wave corrective structure. Not many people know. All right. It's going to be a special thing that I will do for you any day I choose to do it. But now, for this video not to be too long, don't let us include that. So, but right now, what you are going to expect is that there must be a corrective structure here, okay, for more downside. So for that corrective structure to happen, look at how it will take liquidity, okay, how to take liquidity and form impulse. That's what we'll be watching. Right now, can you see liquidity is taken here? Boom. But is this the impulse we are looking for? No. So if that is the case, it means that the liquidity it has taken here is never here or there. It's not adequate. So what you do now is you wait, let market perambulate here. Do whatever I want to do, break it down, take liquidity, and watch the next structure. Boom! Once it breaks structure like that, corrective structure, upside. But the question you ask me is that, what of if it happens, take liquidity, but the impulse does not break structure? Then it is not ready. That is what it means. Then this one will come, take liquidity. Once this one break structure like this, the corrective structure is your trade to the upside. This is when we know when to jump in and when not to jump in. You have to work with liquidity, guys. Allow your structure to be in conjunction with liquidity before you can decide whether you are ready or not. Can you see the whole of this week? All right, as the market keep dropping, where is the entry opportunity it gave to us? Non-existence. So there's no entry opportunity. We are not going to trade. If you don't see something like this, break up structure, okay, corrective structure, this is your trade. If you don't see this, you haven't seen nothing. Okay. The last setup I took on AUD USD was after this break to the downside, you see corrective structure. This is a contracting flat. Then the way to trade it is to allow it to break this level to ensure that this contracting flat is not going to transform to what do you call it? From contracting flat, it will transform to regular flat. Okay, you don't want to see this to happen. You don't want to see this to break to the upside. So allow this one to break to the downside, then the corrective structure is your trade to the downside. This is how to trade contracting flats that have the capacity to what? To transform to what? To regular flats. Okay? You allow it to break first before you engage in it. Look at it. This is a contracting flat. You don't trade this sell from here because why? There's a liquidity above here. So, and structure is always attracted towards catching liquidity. Even though this level is overlapped, you need to wait. Let this break down, break this structure. Let this break this structure. Once you break this structure, you know that this liquidity is not necessary. Then the next pullback right here is your trade to the upside. This is how to trade a contracting flat, guys. So, but this one, what are you expecting? We need a bounce to the upside. And for that bounce to happen, you need liquidity. Okay? And right here, you have liquidity here. You have taken that liquidity. And the liquidity was taken at the right time, Tokyo session. But the impulse that is needed to break this top was not available. So if that is the case, you will need this to come and break this liquidity again. After that, you need a break of structure, corrective structure, upside. That is how it is for AUD USD. For gold, guys, remember, I kept telling you that gold will have a flip to the upside. Look at the daily time frame. Look at the daily time frame. When you know this structure, when you know it, you know it. When you don't know it, you don't know it. And then you have to go and learn it correctly. Learn it from the expert. When this liquidity was taken, right here, I said upside. Okay? But the liquidity is not enough. So what did he do? He came back, took it. I told you again, upside. So you have to trade this buy to the upside. If anything happens and it comes to take it next week, upside. There is no downside for gold now. Every liquidity it takes, you have to keep looking for what? For buy opportunity. Okay? And in the community, somebody asked question, when are they going to get involved? You can see that trend is already developing. But what do you notice here? Liquidity. Can you see? Liquidity. So this is reminding me that this move to the upside is a temporary one. The possibility of us still coming to take this liquidity is there. It builds there. Okay, so right here you have impulse. This does not break structure, pullback. Now you have a break of structure here. Can you see a break of structures here? So after this corrective structure, you can have upside. But I am not convinced because we have a build-up of liquidity here. If we have taken this higher time frame liquidity here, okay? If we have taken higher time frame liquidity here, we are not supposed to have a build-up of liquidity below it. So anything that makes us to have a build-up of liquidity here is telling me that the probability of us coming to take it before we go is there. So, but at any rate, what you are going to do is simple. When market when you get to overlap on Monday, if you see corrective structure here, take your trade to the upside. Then if you don't see corrective structure, it's also possible that this will break down, take this low. Then once you see this impulse that breaks structure, the corrective structure is your trade to the upside. Right now, you can see all the majors are trying to make a pullback, okay? And then gold is also trying to make a pullback, but you cannot engage in a pullback setup except it has taken liquidity. It's very, very important. Let me show you. You have this, you have this, you have this. If this is your, if you are expecting a move to the upside from here, if it goes like this and breaks structure, honestly, if this corrective structure come, I will not take it. Why? It did not take liquidity under this low. So by not taking liquidity under this low, it's telling me that this move to the upside is a temporary one. So you can just have a break, corrective structure, a break, and one more downside because liquidity is existing right here. But if it does something like this, can you see? If it does something like this, take this liquidity, push to the upside, break structure, corrective structure here. Oh my goodness, magnificent buy to the upside. This is how to, this is how to align liquidity with structure and come up with an acceptable setup that give you correct profit. Is that okay now? Not just to come and say you are looking for impulse, you are looking for flat corrective structure. No, you have to combine it with liquidity. If you don't combine it with liquidity, it's not going to work. All right. So next, USD JPY. Okay. For USD JPY, I've told you at this level, I will need a good corrective structure for me to start looking for buy. I can see even the buy to the upside for USD JPY is not convincing. We told you right here that you have a flat corrective structure. From here, start looking for buy. So which you are seeing here. But look at the buy to the upside. It's not convincing. So at every point in time, you should see the corrective structure before we start looking for buy again. You can see something like this. And something like this is sometimes a result of intervention of Bank of Japan. All right? The Bank of Japan intervened because right now, Japanese yen is weakening. It's seriously weakening right now. So against the dollar. So if they intervene in the currency, then you know that USD will fall against the JPY. Okay? And that fall will be temporary. It can be something like this for an upside again. So you can have this, you can have this, and you can have this for an upside. This will now be an impulse, corrective structure, and another impulse. Do you understand now? So that is how that's what we're expecting on USD JPY. Any buy there is very difficult to do at this point in time. It's very, very difficult to start looking for buy on USD JPY. That was why even on Monday, we saw this running flat, and we said it's going to push to the upside, but we don't want to trade the running flat because it can transform to what? Expanding flat, and you have lost. You don't want to lose anyhow, okay? So right now, you are having a push to the upside, but it's not convincing. I'm expecting intervention from Bank of Japan that will ensure that this one make a push to the downside, and then from here we pick it up again. Just like when we had this, we pick it up from here. Can you see the move? About how many pips? 155 to 160, 161. That's about 600 pips to the upside that made the forecast. So right now, we don't want to buy here because it is no longer convincing. It has to drop down Okay, it may not drop deep like that. It may do something like this, starting break of structure, something like this, to go up before it comes down and go again. All right, this is the ultimate level to look for a buy setup for USD JPY. USD card, guys, I told you we have been following this USD card from lower level here, okay? And we told you that we need to take this liquidity here. Can you see? I'm combining my structure with what? With liquidity. We have taken the liquidity, and when we took that liquidity, I told you in one of the weekly forecasts that if there is no sell setup that is created after we take the liquidity, then this one is the next liquidity to take. Right now, we have taken this liquidity here. We need a fall. We can no longer be looking for buy after liquidity is taken. If you are selling this way, you are looking for buy only after this liquidity is taken. That's when you are looking for either reversal or pullback. But if you have something like this, you cannot be looking for buy here. Which liquidity does it take for it to be buying? On the higher time frame, it has to take this. This is the secret, guys. This is what we use. This is the same thing that is applicable to this USD card. If you give us corrective structure, if you give us impulse at this level, we keep selling. We are no longer looking for buy to the upside for USD card. Okay? Let me show you guys. All right. So can you see that the fall is not convincing? It's not convincing. So we cannot buy there except you see a bigger corrective structure. What do I mean? If you have something like this, you can buy to break this top again. But without that, if you see just a little structure come up, break this top, come up, come down sharp. Oh, that is a V shape. This is a reversal. So any corrective structure here will do what? A sell to the downside, and you keep selling this. This is how we look at structure, guys. This is how we look at structure. This is far more than Elliott wave that you used to know, guys. This is the modern foundation. This is the modern foundation we are building for future understanding of wave pattern. It's just not only using Elliott wave theory. We use other, methodology to know how the next move is going to evolve. And if you don't have all these intrigues, if you don't understand it, you'll not be able to understand the next move. That's why today I'm taking it upon myself to explain into detail for you. BTC, guys, okay, on a daily time frame, you can see BTC. I told you, even though we are still expecting BTC to fall to the downside, because right here, you have pulls down, you have corrective structure. You have pulls down, you have corrective structure. This pulls down here is not enough. Even though it has taken this liquidity, it's not enough based on how it is forming here. Okay, it's not enough. Though you can have a truncated with 5, but to me, it is not enough. You are still going to have a corrective structure and a breakdown. Okay, I'm expecting like 40 to 45 before we can have a push to the upside. You can see what happened right here. You can see what happened right here. Can you see right here? We are expecting the same thing to happen right here, but break this low. Once this low is broken conveniently, then we'll be looking to buy BTC. All right. So if you look at it right here, you can see I told you that this structure is not enough. This corrective structure is okay, but this push down is not okay. So what you should expect is that you have this, you have this, you have this. Allow this to come break this top. Okay, come this way, then we look for sell again. I'm not looking for buy for BTC. After you look for sell, you must see that this wave is long enough to correspond to the fall that you have here. You must have something like this. Once you have something like this, it will almost be getting to 45. That is when you start looking for buy opportunity for BTC. But for now, focus on your sell setup for BTC. Focus on your sell setup. And how do you get your sell setup? You have this breakdown, corrective structure, breakdown, find a way to get here from this level, sell BTC, to the downside. So that's it, guys. So if you sign up to our website and you bought our course and you are having a downtime on the website, we apologize for that. Don't worry. Some maintenance is ongoing, and I can assure you that once this round of maintenance is done, you are almost like going to have a brand new website. Okay, you are going to have a brand new website. You are going to have a real user experience on this new website, and you're going to enjoy it. We have spent a lot of money to create value for you and to make sure that you don't experience any hitch on our or glitch on our website any longer. Okay, so I want to thank you for watching to the end, and I say goodbye from me. We'll see next week. Bye.